morning, everybody. It's a nice Friday morning. You're watching the 4th and 5 Morning Huddle. We got a great lineup for you today. Let's go and take a look at what's on the menu for breakfast. What we got? I got to talk about a whole bunch of things when it comes to what's on the market today. Now, obviously, we're going to talk college football playoffs. We're going to talk a little bit about this portal that opens today. Let's go ahead and bring everybody in. My name's DJ Williams alongside the one and only Josh Throne, who is in the house. Josh Throne, I don't know if you knew, but the portal is open today. You're going to see a whole bunch of moves happening. Woke up this morning. I was trying to keep track as much as possible yesterday, but even woke up this morning to what you just told me. Go ahead and hit it with me real quick.
Yeah, Charlie Collins entering the transfer portal. Obviously not somebody that I wanted to see enter the transfer portal, let alone he's a Little Rock guy, DJ. It's one thing I like about him, but thought that we were going to continue to see some development out of him. You know, defensive line is definitely the area of focus for Arkansas going in to this offseason, trying to figure out how to build that back up and maintain it. It was our struggling point last year. So didn't want to see that, but we're going to dive a little bit more into the transfer portal here in a minute.
Yeah, about to lock into it. JB Guatney up with this morning saying Happy New Year's, fellas. Happy New Year. Happy New Year.
Oh, yeah.
We'll talk about some good times when it comes to ringing in the new year. But first, once again, first one today is going to be that portal. Yes, it opens up today. Like I said, names coming in. We're going to go through a list of players that we know are leaving as of now. Expect that to change drastically here in just a few hours, and names coming in as well. Another thing, once again, we're going to talk about, man, what a weekend in college sports. Give you some recaps on that. We got some fun segments coming up where people have a chance to win. Now, I know Josh is here by himself, but do not worry about that because we still have really cool, interesting, fascinating ways for you to win, but it's going to be all on Josh, okay? So, Josh, I'm going to give you a point total today. I'm trying to get this screen set up before I bring you into it. Yeah, we're going to do a little point total today, and you're pretty much going to be playing against yourself, all right? But we'll talk about that in the rules just in a second. But let's go ahead and get into the portal. This is what we know so far, okay, when it comes to who's in and who's out. So who is out that we know for sure? You said Charlie Collins, reported by 24/7 Sports. You can go to all these websites and figure this out. Grayson Wilson, transferring out of the quarterback position. Former CAC Mustang transferred to Conway. He is now out. He was rotating, getting third-string snaps last year. He was a four-star recruit coming out of high school. Justice Boone, who we got in from Florida, decided to go ahead and hit that transfer portal as well. I'm trying to go back and think, Josh, about it's interesting to me. I can't remember. Was Ron Roberts, was that his first year at Florida last year? It may have been his first year. If it's his second year, it would be quite interesting because Shade looked okay. Yeah, it would be interesting because then he would have played with Ron Roberts, and now Ron Roberts is coming from Florida, and he says, I got to get out of here. But I don't know if they overlapped. I think they didn't, but that'd be something I need to kind of look into. Defensive lineman Kavion Henderson, four-star prospect coming out of high school in the 2024 signing class, 6'2", 257 pounds. He's a guy, Josh, that I get into this area of, it would have been nice if he would have stuck around to see what he could develop into. Once again, this is the portal era. Those days are almost long and gone. It's almost like if we get young guys now who have potential, it's almost just, okay, we're going to do all the work. We're going to build these guys up just for them to get poached by someone else. It's like we're a farm team. And so the approach there is very interesting. Another name that we know for sure, those are I would say big Kayshawn Davila, his name is in there as well. We can go through a few more of those. But one name that did say that was coming in, Josh, as I bring this back up, you see this guy right here in the middle, in the inter side. He's number 55. He already said that he is coming. His name is Sandal Bascom. He's a 6'3", 305-pound defensive tackle. Transfer from Coffeyville Community College. That's why he was able to do this a lot earlier. He committed to the Razorbacks on the 29th of December. He had 29 tackles, 2.5 sacks, 1 pass breakup in 8 games. He was committed to Memphis, but reopened his recruitment after Silverfield became the head coach at Arkansas. So he is a guy that Silverfield has been on for a while now. But as far as portal guys, in the comment, Josh, that I made about getting into these areas where we do all the work and they're just going to leave. Now, on the flip side, we're going to get some of those guys as well. And some of those guys that I'm talking about is about rebuilding our offensive line. So right now there's 2 offensive tackles. You know, we lost Carmona, who played left guard, who had the ability to be tackle. And we lost our guy, Corey Robinson, really good left tackle for us. There's 2 names out there. I'm very interested to see if there will be Razorbacks today. Okay. The first one is Xavier Chaplin Jr. All right. He was at Auburn, previously at Virginia Tech. So you got a guy who's bounced around a little bit. He's going to be ranked number 2 in the transfer portal right now. And he put his name in after Alex Golish saying that he was going to be the head coach. So I don't see much change there. Mm-hmm. A guy who you could potentially see stay in the SEC, who has SEC reps, who did really well, at least playing at a competitive level. Another name that pops up that I would love to see, a former 4-star rank, former number 1 recruit in the state, was Carius Kern. He's the starting left tackle at LSU. Now, did he struggle a bit this year? Yes. A freshman in the SEC with what you go up every single year? Yes. But what comes with that is a big learning curve and a lot of experience, 306 snaps. And so that would be a really cool one, and a homegrown kid as well, Josh. But when it comes to the potential to now take advantage of other teams who have put in the work to go ahead and get these guys who are now a little bit better year to year, just thoughts on the fiasco and what your expectations are today.
Man, I think that Ryan Sofield came out the gate hot, landing a bunch of the guys that we thought you needed to go get, at least here in Arkansas. Interested to still see what he's able to pull off as far as incoming portal transfers. You mentioned, how do you say this guy's name? Carius Kern, Marion, Arkansas kid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, somehow ended up down at LSU. I love the fact that the transfer portal exists when it exists for Arkansas's purpose. But you really have to focus on scouting. Like, this kid, did he play at LSU? How much did he play at LSU? He's only been there 1 year and he's transferring. I don't like to see that, because I don't care if you come to Arkansas or not. Whatever school you go to as a freshman, it's kind of important to develop, and especially when it comes to me, if I'm in a scouting department, like wanting to see guys that are committed to programs. The only caveat that I give these players that I'm like, hey, I'm not going to put it as a ding on your resume, is when you have a coaching change. I think when there's a coaching change, regardless if we tighten up this whole transfer rules, I think that if there's a coaching change, players should be able to transfer at that point. So seeing Carius Kern with the coaching change at LSU, potentially coming back to Arkansas, that's great. And I don't hold anything against them because of the coaching change. But at the same point in time, did you develop while you were there? Player retention is super important. And I don't feel like we've been on the winning side of the transfer portal hardly ever. Did you watch the Ole Miss game last night? A couple Razorbacks were on the screen a lot.
Yeah.
So worries me.
It does worry. We'll talk about college football playoffs here in a second. I see the comments here this morning. Valerie is up. Good morning. She's actually watching my pups. Would love to get them back, but they always love hanging out with Auntie Val Pal. This is Bull Hall 98. Let's go ahead and pop some of these up on the screen right now. It says they're good players out there. We got 25 million. Got to make a splash. I am with you. Yeah. We got Matt Kang says, why can't Arkansas turn it around like Indiana? Indiana is an anomaly. Okay. Not only did they turn it around, they're beating people's, you know what, man. It is impressive what Kurt Signetti has done, how he has had everybody buying in.
I think to his point, why can't who said that? Cooper? Why can't they turn around the team like Indiana? When I was listening and kind of keeping up with that Indiana game, they made a comment a couple times. I think it was Saban who said something about what he's been able to do with a bunch of 3-star athletes on the field there at Indiana. And I kind of think Saban was saying that because he was talking about either A, the scouting of these players as they're going to recruit them, or B, the development of the players. Probably what Saban was leading to a little bit more is that coaching development. So you can't tell me, DJ, that it's not possible for Arkansas to be able to be a just SEC contender, right? That's all I really want to set my sights on initially. We just got to invest heavy into the scouting department. There's three. You were what, 3-star tight end, DJ, coming out of high school?
Come on, man. 4-star.
Was that it? 4-star?
Yeah.
Okay, my bad.
Yeah,
Regardless, regardless, I can't remember,
yeah,
man.
it's okay. It's
I don't
okay.
mean to take a star away from you,
That's
brother.
all right.
But
That's
I'm
all right.
just
Whatever.
saying that there is a lot of talent out there, and if you can evaluate it, there are plenty of 3-star guys who make it to the NFL. So you just got to go out there and evaluate it and find those guys and convince them on why they should come to Arkansas, because there's 3-stars are a dime a dozen. But being able to recognize talent and then coach talent is the way Arkansas is going to make a splash and be able to compete in the SEC.
You talked about the Indiana thing, and make sure your Wi-Fi is not on and you're hardlined in because you're getting a
No,
little
I'm
choppy.
hardline then, man.
Okay. All right. So the Indiana thing is interesting. Why can't we do it like them? I do believe, and I could be wrong, we're going to have to wait and see next year, that Indiana's time as far as not being as consistent will slowly start coming to an end. And I only say that because Indiana was, what, 2 years ago before the season started. Nobody was thinking about them. And then they go on this big-time run, and they're one of the top teams in the country. Back-to-back playoff appearances now. I don't think that their players ran into the issue of now saying, okay, now I want my money. Okay, now you're going to start getting more players with more film, and they're going to see what's going on. And high school kids are going to come in here, these freshmen, these sophomores, they're going to want their due. They're going to see what everyone else is making. And then you run into the issue of like, do we have enough money to keep everyone happy? And I just don't think they've had to deal with that yet. I think he's had a culture where Indiana wasn't a team in college football who were struggling with all these players coming in expecting to be making 500,000, 700,000, 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, but now they will. And so how they handle that, I'm very interested to see how it happens, because Kurt Cignetti does not, I don't take him so much for like, oh my gosh, I'm going to give y'all everything you want. He seems a little bit more hard-nosed. This is the culture we're going to build. And I don't think he's going to be invincible to that, because Saban dealt with it. I mean, we can just go down a list of coaches that are starting to deal with this.
Are you saying that because they weren't as popular, their players weren't getting poached, so they had more time for development?
Yeah, no, I'm just thinking he brought his guys over from when he was at JMU, okay? And so you got a group of guys who believe in his culture, right? You got a group of guys who went through that grind, who believed in coach and not so much worried about all the circus that is going on in college football. He actually brought over a group of guys that were focused on one common goal. And then as they start building up, these players are just so bought in. Now you have guys that have been under Kurt Cignetti for 3-4 years. That doesn't happen for the top teams in the country nowadays. It's very hard to keep guys that long when competing with these agents that are like snakes. Hey, let me go poach here. Let me go shop around here. Let me go shop around here. Do I think it's possible? Yes. Do I think now that they are at the level they are, Kurt Cignetti is now going to have to deal with a lot of that crap? I think it's on the way. So I'm very curious to see how they sustain the level of success that they've had.
I think you're probably right, but I think that the X factor is whether or not you can be a culture builder as a coach. And so far, the platform that Kurt Cignetti has built for himself, the household name that he now has, and then our perception of him.
Yeah,
I think in America's perception of him, I think every college or high school kid or recruit or potential transfer is looking at him and they go, man, he's done great in front of the mic. Seems like he'd be fun to play for, but he is constantly preaching his brand of football processes, protocols, system, etc. And I think because of that, and with the wins to back it up now, it's going to create kind of a wave of those that type of character of player that wants to seek out to play in his program. And so I think that we're going to see consistency out of Kurt Cignetti in Indiana. I'm not saying they're going to have undefeated seasons. That's what they're doing right now is rare and very hard to do. But continually to be a player in college football, I think Indiana is going to be there.
So if you're just tuning in, obviously the portal opened today, and just piggybacking off what Indiana is able to do, I think that's the goal. You know, a team that was in the bottom of the barrel in their conference, is they're able to do enough things, make enough changes to be not just competitive, but one of the elite programs in college football. That's what we want with Arkansas. That's what we want with a new coach. That's what we want with this now $25 million budget. That's what we want with the ability for these guys to go out and get people in the portal. So we want to know if it's possible. So get back to the portal. We got Josh Sarles. Am I saying that right? Sarles. It's like Charles with the S. Sarles. I could be saying that wrong. I seen Carius Curran was going to visit Georgia and our campus, which would be good. Kane Archer is still interested. I don't know how it works for guys out of high school who have committed and signed. Can they hop in the portal before they even step on campus? I would assume so. We got Big Z saying, what's up? Good morning, Big Z. Marcus Daniel says, we need quarterbacks. I think we're going to get some. And that'll just create more and more competition. Iron sharpens iron in the quarterback room.
Have you had a chance? Have you had a chance to look into that Memphis quarterback yet, DJ?
Yeah. He was highly touted coming out of high school. We saw a little bit of him last year. I mean, he looks the part. Big, strong, got a good arm. We saw him come in and drag our 390-pound defensive tackle for a first down. But I didn't see much game film, but he was highly touted coming out of high school. He is in the portal. I've heard he's interested in a few schools. We'll see if Arkansas is one.
I heard about this comment right here.
I did not hear this. What did Kurt Herbstreit say?
Kirk Herbstreit on the game was kind of talking about how Cignetti, even when they're dominating teams, he's still just laser focused. You look at it, watch the cameras as they cut to him on the sideline. They're up 21 points, yet he's still focused, probably going harder on the players than ever. And he compared that to Nick Saban in Alabama when they would be beating Arkansas 40-0.
Oh, no.
And Nick Saban would still be laser focused in on his guys, riding them even harder at that moment. I was like, well,
why do you have to throw Arkansas under the bus? Good.
I guess thanks for the shout out. I mean, I don't know. Terrible. That's just who we are now.
All right. Go through a few more of these comments. We need some dogs to commit. Yes. Jonathan, good morning. Got to have some dogs in here for sure. Who they are, we don't know. And like I said, we're going to now start tracking these guys. As soon as they come in, as soon as Arkansas puts up that official graphic on Instagram or whatever, then we're gonna have a busy week here on 4th and 5 of actually watching game film. It'd be nice if somebody who watches us has an inside track to how much money these guys are potentially getting paid. There will be a couple websites that will try to do that. And if we get somewhat close to the number that it took to get one of those guys here, we're going to break down film. We're going to show you what they're going to bring to the table, things we love, things we're worried about, and then we're going to tell you if we think they're worth it or not. We did that last year, though. We did that last year. What?
Yo said you can't. If this is what I don't like about this is that Shaq McCroy. How much did we give him, DJ?
How much did we give him?
Well, how much did Arkansas give him?
Arkansas gave him $400,000 allegedly. Allegedly,
okay, $300,000 to $400,000, and he barely plays. He's not the athlete that we thought he was. That's why I'm saying Arkansas has to, especially with the money that now is putting into it. Every dime that we spend, we have to have scouted these guys so well. We know exactly how they're going to fit into our offense. We know exactly what kind of player we're getting. We can't afford $300,000 or $400,000 offensive linemen who don't play it down. You can't, not in the transfer portal, and not maybe if it's a guy that can develop, if it's a quarterback that you're, positive is going to stay with the program and develop. But you've got to. Scouting is more important than ever.
That's
because now you got one and done seasons if they don't play. So you better hit on guys that are going to play, because if they don't play, they're not going to stay. That makes it even harder.
This is where it gets me. Are they in a rush to get these guys and not do their due diligence? This is technically tooting our own horn here at 4th and 5. You talked about Shaq McCroy. We listened to all the people say, we got this big time. We watched the film first. And I told you, we searched every single one of his high school highlights. And the one thing we did not find was a pass play. It was all running play. I mean, you're 6'8", 380 pounds in high school. Of course, you're going to have highlights blowing little guys off the ball. We were able to find his reps that he had at the Under Armour All-American Bowl. And then so we broke that down. Grant Cook was on, and I was kind of questionable. Grant was just like, ooh, I'm worried about this guy. He came out ranked the #1 tackle, 4-star recruit. Grant said, at best, just tap it into 3 stars. And he says, and then we're like, we paid him how much? And it's just like when we missed on him the whole time, even after watching spring ball, me and Grant were still like, I don't know if he'll start this year. Everybody's saying he's our guy. And it's just like, what's the rush here? Where's the talent evaluation? How are we able to see that and y'all miss on such a big level and waste a lot of money off of what you think you saw? And it wasn't just him. We had game film on Neil. We watched game film on Connie Walker. We had game film on a lot of these guys. And we were in the ballpark of, okay, I know a lot of people are saying we're excited, but we're still a little bit concerned. Let's not jump all in on paying all these guys yet. I really don't understand how they miss it. It makes no sense to me. And I think it's so hard to point fingers on problems. You can point an easy finger because the film don't lie. Okay, it makes me feel like who's not doing their homework over there. It's unacceptable in my opinion.
My personal take on this is that there's a recruiting department, right? And it kind of gets the whiteboard ready amongst, a handful of starting, star players that a particular coach wants at quarterback. It kind of gets that recruiting whiteboard ready. And then based on that whiteboard, the coaches are now organizing, recruiting visits, et cetera, et cetera. They're still coaching football. But now that we're in this transfer portal timeline, all football season is a recruiting period. So you have to have your recruiting department being led by someone who is an extremely good talent evaluator, someone who knows football, an X and O's guy. You honestly need in your recruiting department a guy like that for almost every position group. So that's why I keep saying invest heavy in that. That way, as soon as the coaches are able to go see these guys, recruit these guys, talk to these guys, we actually have a whiteboard that's worth something. And it doesn't need to be ranked on stars because Shaq McCrory was 4 or 5 stars. You said top offensive lineman coming out of high school. Well, if it took Grant Cook here at 4th and 5 a little bit of time to go, well, wait, he's only really run blocking in high school, and of course he's going to run everybody over. He's got to run through Josh Thrones. It's not going to be a problem. I mean, it's easy. So what's next? Okay, well, what about his pass? His pass protection. How good are his feet? Can he move? Does he get low? Does he have good leverage? If you don't have a guy that is, Grant Cook worthy of scouting offensive line for your recruiting department, how the heck are you even going to have a good whiteboard for your coaches as soon as they're free and have to stop being current coaches and worried about the next game against Georgia? Now they're available to go see a kid. You better have good kids for them to go see. So that's why I'm saying now more than ever, it is the recruiting department and scouting department that needs to be heavily invested in. And I'm not even – you can go look at Lane Kiffin talking about what they did at Ole Miss. How do you think they landed Trinidad Chambliss? I mean, who would have said, oh, yeah, let's go get a Division II Ferris State kid who's like 5'10", 5'11"? I don't remember him being on a national hot board. He wasn't even a starting quarterback. So they got to be a second string. Scouting department, DJ.
Yeah, got a scout. Zamal Thomas, 400,000. Good Lord, that's a lot of money. And the thing about it is that number is going to go up because we got a lot more cheddar to spread around and try to keep up with everyone else. David Shaw says, not sure this is sustainable. My boo is downstairs. She says, good morning to everybody watching. Oh, yeah, guy in the chair. The guy who produces our show during game weeks. It's his birthday today. Happy birthday, guy in the chair. You have today off, okay? Actually, he has a lot of days off until we get more sponsors for our morning show. So happy birthday, guy in the chair. Other comments coming in. This is interesting. I always say this name wrong. Pernicious Pete. Am I saying that right? Pernicious Pete. Some Arkansas players were invited to leave. Did Silverfield do a whole Deion Sanders when he showed up to Colorado act saying, hey, some of y'all might need to get up out of here? That would be interesting. And I'll say this, based off how much they are making, I would do the same thing. This is from Matt King. NCAA needs some rule checks with balances, or checks and balances, not this Wild West leaving after taking money. I agree. I wish there was something we could do to figure that out. That's been a big talker for such a long time. JB Guatney, good morning. Says Pittman Yurchek were a terrible combination. They always tried to go cheap. They did. I was very interested in, I questioned a lot of decisions of like, that's where you wanted to spend the money. I feel like we needed to spend it here. I'll say this. All right. When it comes to the portal today, if we spend over, 25 million, What's 10%? I don't think we need to spend more than 10% on one guy. All right. So what are you talking about, DJ? People do believe if you want to compete, you need a quarterback that's going to cost you about $2.5 million. Okay. Unless we get that guy, which I don't think we will, I don't think we need to spend a ton of money on the quarterback position. Okay. It's just, we said this the other day, Josh. There's only a handful of players at the quarterback position at the college level who are actually worth that amount of money. Unfortunately, a ton of players in the Power 4 quarterbacks, they're all going to make it because now that's just the standard to be a starting quarterback in the Power 4, even if you're not worth it. I would say in the Power 4 alone, there's maybe only 3 that are worth that. So just because you have it, don't spend it at that position. Find a guy who's not going to make mistakes. Find a guy who can run your offense. Find a guy who may not have the, big arm or doing all this stuff, who runs a 4.3. You're looking for this Heisman type guy when there's only a few out there. And if they're not coming to Arkansas, don't pay somebody for that position. Save that money. Find somebody who can, hey, are you good with about 650,000? Okay, who's next? Hey, you good for about 650,000? Do your homework though. Make sure there's somebody who can run your stuff. Especially with this type of offense we got coming in, it's a lot of decision making, a lot of RPOs. You don't need a future Heisman winner. It'd be nice, but let's just be real. But spend that money at other positions that make up for the lack of quarterback play. And think about it. How many times have we sat there and watched an Alabama offense with a quarterback who is a game manager, and they can score 10, 14 points and win because they got dogs on the defensive side of the ball? So I would say invest in areas that will help you compete in areas that you lack, okay? And so for us searching for the next Heisman candidate at quarterback, as I think it would be cool, I just don't know if it's possible. And we talk about spending a lot of money. We need some big-time DBs. We got to spend at least $800,000 on a defensive back. I'm like, huh? Go spend you about $1 million on a couple edge rushers, $1 million here, $1 million there. Then the DBs only have to cover for about 2.5 seconds. I mean, there's ways to do this to work with what you got. I just hope we don't try to build our roster the way that everyone else is trying to build their roster, because we've done that, and that's just not how we're built right now.
Right. I agree.
We got another. It says spend the money on O-line and D-line. I'm with you. Work out from there.
Yeah, if you spend look, I'm a big believer in make sure I have great protection. And in college, give me a quarterback who can make the right decision 80 to 90% of the time, rather than a electric quarterback who can make plays that I can't teach, but makes the wrong decision, 30 to 40% of the time. A game manager in college football is so important, because typically in college football, especially when you start playing extremely competitive teams, it comes down to who makes the mistakes and turns the ball over more than the other team. That's just what it comes down to.
I'm with you, especially at this level. Somebody says, do these big money guys sign contracts? I think they all do. Usually it's year to year. We'll see what we got going on. This is from Mike. Says, when I hear high school juniors saying things like school X was late to offer me, how many games do you have worthy of evaluation before 11th grade? Help me understand. I will say, there are a few, not a lot, a few guys in high school who you can just tell they're different. And those guys you do have to get early. And it may not even necessarily be a ton of game film, but sometimes at that point, that's going to show how good of a coach you are. Because if you got the guy who has the canvas to start with, then you have to do your job as a coach to make sure they're a good football player. Now, obviously, you watch some game film, but if they have enough to say, I can do that, I can work with that and turn that into something great, you got to get on those guys early. I know that's I know that's tough and sometimes a risk, but unfortunately, you have to, because there's only so many 6'7", 350 guys, 50-pound guys that can move and seem physical enough. You can't miss out on those guys.
And you better do more than offer them now, DJ. They're top tier high school player. You better get in that third lane. You better get in that third lane and put some money in their pockets, because they're paying the NIL deals to high school players and make sure that they got a little money right now.
Yep.
Just to make sure that they got their hooks in them for college.
All right. Yeah, Razorback Pride, don't worry. Good morning, waking up with us. Good morning, everybody. Once again, the portal is open today, so we're going to start talking about it, keeping track. Expect a lot of action happening today. Next week on 4th and 5 is going to be huge, okay? We typically what we're doing, we do this morning show now every day, Monday through Friday. So for us to do breakdowns on these guys that are coming in and let you know what to be excited about, what to be worried about, that's just way too much to try to jam pack into a 45-minute show. So we're still going to do our morning show and probably tease ahead to what we're going to post on YouTube and Facebook and stuff later in the day, so you can expect and see what player we're going to break down. And also, too, as they come in, send us messages. Hey, we want this guy first. Hey, can you do this guy next? Y'all be a part of it, and then we can make sure we get to it. All right, let's go and get to our next topic, man. We really spent some time talking on that one, 30 minutes. This is going to be a big talker today. But, yeah, big things also going on in the college football playoffs. It's the Final Four. It's all set and ready to go. I actually missed the end of the Ole Miss-Georgia game, so I've made 2 graphics, and I put Georgia in there at first, but I had an Ole Miss one on backup, and obviously I had to change it this morning. Ole Miss punches the ticket. 3 out of the 4 teams that were not favorites. Now, Oregon, Texas Tech went back and forth. Indiana dominated. They were a 7-point favorite headed into that game. Then you also have Miami. They pull off the big upset of the day against Ohio State. I mean, Miami's defense, come on. They turn it up a notch. It seems like the U is coming back to prime time. Like I said, Indiana doing what they're doing, just so special. Ole Miss, whoo, what a football game. A very, very, very exciting one. Watched the highlights this morning. I was surprised about that one. I thought Georgia was going to figure it out, but what they're doing on that defensive side of the ball over there is special. And offense, depending on the day, and if they're clicking and they're hot, they can beat any team in the country. Oregon, defensive side of the ball. What are we talking about? I'll say this, though. I am happy about that game because that showed that I think the Big 12 is trash. That showed that, yeah, you may be leading when it comes to the NIL push and you have the best team that money can buy. Try to do that in the SEC each and every year, okay? I'm done. I knew that was going to happen going into it. Oregon did their thing. Everybody's so pumped up on Texas Tech. Oh, they cover the most out of any of these teams. They cover the most. Look who they playing. Somebody said they play BYU. I don't care. Get out of here. So the college football playoffs are set. And so that leads us into our next segment. You ready for this one, Josh? We got our next segment. All right, this is something we've been working on. Let me see if I can get this audio stuff cranked up and ready to go. Let me boom, boom, boom. A lot of stuff going on in college football and around not just college football, but professional football, the whole thing. And so sometimes we see some guys doing what we call too much. So we got a new segment that we're going to introduce here on 4th and 5, and it's called You're Doing Too Much. You know how hard that is? How many buttons I have to flip through to get through that right there? All right, let's get into it. What that popped up over the weekend. I'm very curious about people's opinions. My guy, Michael Irvin. All right. I love him. You talk about passion, he lacks none. All right. But sometimes when I'm watching Michael Irvin on the sideline, I think sometimes he's doing just a little too much. I know you're pumped up. Your alma mater's doing the thing. I'm all about people cheering and stuff. But take a look at this clip right here. Josh, you tell me, are you with me? Are you doing too much or are you doing just enough? All right, so let's go ahead and watch this from our boy, Michael Irvin. Come on.
Got his belt off?
Yeah.
Who's he spanking? The water jug?
Oh, look at he's got DJ.
He's absolutely doing too much.
He's got an Ohio State.
Why is he in such good shape?
He's in phenomenal shape. You see his six-pack? Michael Irvin, my guy. What did we say, Josh? You're doing too much.
Doing way too much.
Doing way too,
doing way too
much.
See, he put an Ohio State sweatshirt on that tour?
He put an Ohio State sweatshirt on that deal to go ahead and get that going. So I thought that was a little too much. Now I'm pumped up. You're excited for your program, but apparently he's been doing this for a while, and he calls it BTA, Belt to ASS. Okay. Yeah, people see it. Trey Finn in here saying belt to. What up, Trey? How you doing, man? Saying belt to, you know what? It's fun. He's reliving his old days. Valerie says he's reliving the childhood traumas with this one. Look, go back to this. All right. Who in the chat can relate to what's happening right here? I want you to take a look at his face, and you can tell this is how he probably got his butt whooped back in the day. I mean, there's a little bit too much passion in this one. I mean, I can relate right here. Look at this. I've been there before. I've been there. Oh, man.
Michael Irvin, he's channeling back in those days when he had a little too much of that booger sugar. And he's losing his mind on the sideline right there.
The U has passion. That is factual. Pam says, doing too much. All right. Another one. What's going on in the NFL right now? Okay. These are, talk about headlines. Talk about being in a situation. Now, doing too much can just be like, tighten up. This is not the Patriot way. You got not one, Josh, two Patriot players facing charges. Allegedly, I'll say that. Okay. I sometimes being in the media, sometimes things come out and all the facts ain't right. Allegedly. I'll make sure I push that through. You got two different cases. Stefan Diggs allegedly strangling his private chef. And then you got our other player. I cannot remember his name off the top of my head. That's why I print these notes off. That is Christian Barmore facing domestic violence charges, accused of assaulting it says his daughter's mother. You can just go ahead and say his baby mama, who was pregnant with the second child after a report. Now, obviously, all these are alleged. But at what point is it going to take for men in general, I was going to say these people in these positions, to stop putting your hands on women, all right? And I don't care what the excuse is. Get out of there. Y'all are doing way too much. And if these things are true, then I hope they get what is coming their way. You know, and the Stephon Diggs ones, have you heard about the details with that? So
no, I haven't had.
He has a private chef. This is what was put out in the report. Private chef who claimed that she didn't get paid. Well, I guess Stephon said that she did get paid. Now she's wanting her money. Altercation somewhat in a room, maybe a kitchen or the house, where he kind of pushed up against her with like his elbow kind of like in her neck area, strangling area, and then talking about, I don't owe you this money, or somewhere around there. I'm paraphrasing, okay? You can go online, look up the police report. And then after all the dust settled, she left. She wanted to come back and get her stuff, but he would not let her into the house until she signed an NDA. All right. And not doing so, boom, here we are. Gotta be stupid.
And Valerie in the comments said, money does not cure stupidity. And that is the truth. And I was about to say, DJ, not the Patriot way. I was about to go, yeah, you know what? When Bill Belichick was there, this wouldn't go down. But Bill Belichick was the coach when Aaron Hernandez lost his mind. So I retract my statement.
There's a segment calling doing too much, and that Aaron Hernandez, that's a different level. Doing way too much. Is that a thing? Good God. This is what is interesting. I'm very curious to pop up. Matt King comes in and says the New England Patriots are doing their own investigation into the matters. They have a playoff run to get to first. I mean, talk about the worst timing for people to be stupid within a program, but it is what it is. All right, let's go ahead and get to the competition part. So, Josh, it's going to be just you, big fella. All right, it's going to be just you. And the way I have this dialed up for people today, okay? Where's my open? Oh, no. Oh, okay. I forgot. I did a little something different. Let's get to a day in history. Okay? So you have 13 chances to get 10 points, okay? 13 chances to get 10 points. Right now in the chat, I need you to go ahead and say what would be a good way. The first one to guess how old Josh is who Josh has played for. So go in the chat right now if you want an opportunity to win some 4th and 5 merch. We're going to play a couple games. Josh is playing by himself, and he has to get to a total of 10. Right now in the chat, if you can guess how old Josh is. Josh, can you see that? The first one to say it, let me know who it is, okay?
Okay, I'm taking a look here. Hey, and I was going to say, while we wait on some of those comments to come in, my doing too much piece for today.
You seeing
If
these?
you watched the Ole Miss game last night, Ole Miss Georgia, at the end of the game.
Are you watching?
Georgia,
seeing the comments?
Yeah, we're still wrong.
All right. Keep
Oh,
going.
we got Josh Harrells.
Sarles?
You're
only 35?
Yeah.
When's your birthday?
Come on now. Turned 36 in February, baby. Come on.
Young buck.
I'm holding on to my youth now.
All right, Josh is 35. You'll go ahead and play for him this morning, and we'll see how we do. But go ahead and get to what you're doing too much. What were you saying?
No, it's the Ole Miss Georgia game. At the end of the game, I mean, first of all, if you didn't watch the end of that game, DJ, I don't know if you were awake or asleep. You got to go watch the last 5 minutes. Trinidad Chambliss just takes over the game. Big play after big play, surviving the Georgia defensive line. Now, at the end of the game, Ole Miss kicks off to Georgia. Georgia tries to take the ball out, and then they chunk the ball off the left. 1 second left on the clock as the ball goes out of bounds, but the clock goes to 0. Both teams rush the field, or in celebration, Ole Miss rushes the field. Georgia's also assuming the game's over. Coaches are going to shake hands, all that kind of good stuff. Confetti's falling. The stage is pushed out onto the football field, and the refs, I don't understand it. I don't get it. I don't know why somebody didn't call them from upstairs and say, hey, fellas, the game's over. But they make everybody get back off the field, put 1 second back on the clock for Georgia to safety punt, kick the ball back to Ole Miss to run the clock out. I mean, they were doing too much. That's why I texted you last night. These refs need to just let the game be over.
All right. Now let's do a little something. Josh, you got 13 total points you can score. You need to get to 10 in order to win, but I'm going to help you out. You don't have to hit the number right on the head. So let's go ahead and get into this day in history. That's right. January 2nd is the day that we are talking about. It is Friday, so I snuck in one for tomorrow as well. Okay, so Josh, the first topic, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, and the way I'm going to do it for you is with this question right here. If you're within 50 years, you get the point. The first photo of the moon was taken by a French photographer. His name is Louis Degras. What year was the first photo of the moon taken? You have to get within 50 years.
Camera probably came out late 1800s. I'll say 1890.
Oh, Lord. It's 1839. Is that 50?
Yeah, that's 50 years.
I'm bad at math. 1839. Is it? You said, what, 1890?
I said 1819.
Oh, is it? It's 41, right? Is that 41 years? Oh, no.
This is insane.
Is it? Oh, my gosh. Someone do my math for me. 1839,
years.
50. You said 1890.
Yeah.
50 would have been 80, 89. 49, right on the nose. Josh, you get a point. All right, you're helping folks out this morning. We usually wrap up at 7. It looks like we're just going to go a little bit long, okay? Just a little bit long. But let's keep this going. You ready for the next one? Josh, you got 1 point. So far, you're 1 for 1. Let's former President Nixon. He imposed a new speed limit of 55 miles per hour. It was at 75 and 70, but he dropped it to conserve gasoline and try to help prevent many road collisions. What year did Nixon drop the speed limit to 55 miles per hour? This one, Josh, you have to get it within 10 years.
Nixon.
Wait a minute. Did you get that first one wrong?
1965.
1965? God, you are literally right on it every single time. It was 1974. That is 9 years. I got that one. 9 years. You barely.
I couldn't
that one
remember
up.
when he was president. I knew it was after the 60s, but I didn't want to get too crazy.
I think the guy you're playing for is telling me that you are 1 point over on the 50.
Hey, we can't
did the
retract our math.
I think we did the math wrong. All right, this is going to be January 3rd. This is tomorrow. But in what year was the Brooklyn Bridge constructed? All right. You have to get this within 50 years. The Brooklyn Bridge, what year was it constructed?
Brooklyn Bridge. That's a photo of it.
Yes, it is.
Cameras. We're going to say 1900.
You say 1900?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
1900.
1870. So you get that
Oh.
within 50 years. Oh, you're 3 for 3. You're 3 for 3 right now. You're rocking. You got a good shot. All right, y'all. Let's get to our next segment. This will be a fun one. All right. It's our music playlist to get everybody cranked up and ready for the day. And so the way that it works, we're going to do a little bit different. You have an opportunity to get a total of 9 points. 9 points this morning, okay? We're going to take a look back at some of the top songs from this day in history. Let's get it.
This is the part that I'm
Turn it
terrible
up.
at.
This is Fourths and Fives playlists.
Let's get some music going, DJ.
Boom, boom. All right, here we go. Let me get this comment off the screen real quick. There we go. All right, let's lock in, Josh.
I can't hear any sound. Am I supposed to hear some music right now?
No, you're good. You ready? So
Yeah.
let's get this. This is from 2010. So the way you have 9 points, if you can name the artist, shoot, I just gave you one. I'm gonna start you with a point. Dang it. Unless you didn't hear that. You're gonna start with the artist, and then if you can give me the name of the song and then the year that it charted #1 on January 2nd. So
All right, just one of those three.
So let's go ahead and give you one since I just told you the year. Stupid. All right, you ready? First song. You have to name the name of this song and who the artist is.
All right.
It's just the instrumental.
I can't hear anything, DJ.
You can't hear that?
No. Plus, I couldn't hear the intro music either.
You can't hear this?
No.
Stop playing. You can stop playing me.
No, I'm serious. I can't hear anything.
Can y'all hear that in the chat? We've been playing music all day long. Have you not heard one song?
I haven't heard anything, DJ, other than the sound of your wonderful voice, brother.
I think you can't hear it, but I can. I'm so sorry.
See what I deal with? Y'all see what I deal with? How am I
I'm
going to win this game
sorry.
if I can't even hear the music?
Can you hear that now?
Yeah, I can hear, but I need you to turn it up a little bit.
All right, let me start it over. You ain't heard songs all day. I'm sorry. Everybody else has.
Oh,
All right, let's get into it. You ready? Come on. Hold on, let me put the chat down so you can't see.
I know what this is.
Come on. It was 2010. I already gave you that.
I know. I mean, I know the song. It was on the radio. It was a radio hit.
No?
Something chatter. Da, da, da. Nah, man. I don't know, man.
It's TikTok by Kesha in 2010.
Gosh.
Dang.
I would never have got that.
You
How
still,
do
you still
First
have,
of all, when you pick these songs, do you know the answers to these before?
yes, this is what the #1 charted song in 2010. All right,
Oh,
you ready?
my gosh.
Next one.
He started yelling at me like I did something wrong. He flipped me the bird.
#1 country song, January 2nd.
Some beach somewhere.
What's the name of the song? I'll give you that
Some Beach.
point. Some beach. Some beach. That's 1 point.
Yep.
Who sings it?
Some beach. I know the song. Somewhere. Man, I don't know. Garth Brooks. Who is it?
Blake Shelton.
Blake Shelton. Oh, dude, you know what? I didn't listen to a lot of Blake Shelton.
Josh, you just lost the opportunity to win the game.
I had to do both of those?
Yeah, I need a name and a song in the year. and you have to get within 5 years of the year, which I'm just going to assume that you won't be able to get. And you're already out. You needed to at least get one of the Kesha ones. You didn't get it either. It's all right, Josh. So Josh Serrell, sorry, you win.
Yes.
Nothing today.
This
Somebody said whose chart though? So I was told that some people felt like I didn't put enough country into the playlist, and so they asked.
Don't.
So I looked into. Well, my bad. They're not the number one charted song when I picked up
and
the
of
day in
course you
history.
picked Blake Shelton of all country artists.
I picked the number one country song charted January 2nd, 2005, and guess who popped up? Blake Shelton. All right, what do you want me to do?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
It's all good.
I don't think of Blake Shelton when I think of country music, but
Everybody's in here rocking and rolling. Blake Shelton, Blake Shelton. How you not know that one, man? All right, y'all. We're about to go.
I don't know how many times I have to tell y'all that I don't pay attention to this stuff. And that's why you keep putting me on these games, because you think it's funny that I keep losing.
Those are the most popular songs. So what do you want me to do?
Man, I listen to the radio. Sometimes I'm a psychopath. I don't listen to nothing in the car. I listen to the sound of my engine, the sound of the road, think deep, call you maybe. DJ, what's going on? Is that weird to ride in the car and not actually listen to anything?
I do it all the time. Let me do that math real quick. You said 19. What year did you say? 1790? Hold on.
No.
When that picture was taken, yeah, you said 1890
No.
minus.
No. I said 1790.
No, he didn't. That would have been worse. It would have been the same thing.
No, I said 1790.
39.
You said it was what was the year?
You didn't even get that one right.
You said what year did you say? You got to do the math. You forgot to carry the one, DJ. You got to carry the one over.
Woo, not our strong suit. All right, y'all. Y'all stay tuned. A lot's going to happen today in the portal. We're going to keep track of it. Don't forget, next week, expect a lot of breakdowns, a ton of breakdowns of all these guys coming in. And so that'll be a good first glance of what we can expect into, one, what Ryan Silverfield is bringing to the table when it comes to talent evaluation, which is going to be huge. We're also going to take a look at these guys' game film as well. Hopefully a lot to get excited about. Appreciate y'all. Y'all have a great weekend. Josh, have a great weekend, man. Everybody else watching, appreciate y'all always supporting 4th and 5. And you are watching, I thought I had that pulled up.
The Morning Huddle.
You're watching the Morning Huddle.
Enjoy paying your taxes.